Wonder Woman debuts a brand new set of armor. Warner Brothers is skipping Comic-Con. A Zorro, Django, and a Kingdom Come movie in the works. And what room am I even in? Today on DC Movie News.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's DC Movie News.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us here on DC Movie News. I know you're probably thinking, what is going on? Why is Adam by himself? Where are you? Is this a live show? It's not a live show. Here's what happened. Everybody on the squad is traveling in different places. We couldn't get together on our actual show day. So what we're doing is a little pre-tape. We're going to talk about some of the news stories that have happened so far. It's only Wednesday night right now, so apologies if big news breaks on Thursday or Friday. I'm going to talk about a couple of the stories that have happened so far. It's earlier in the week, and then I'm going to throw to some of our friends and let them comment on those same subjects. We may even throw to future me if I can catch up with myself in the future and learn some of those things, and then comment back here, and then I'll report to you what my future self has told me. Warner Brothers is not lighting up Hall H this year. Shocking. Some of the most exciting times are when we are gearing up for that July date. Warner Brothers usually kills in Hall H. Let's hear from Mike Kalinowski.
Thanks, Adam. So, guys, my thoughts on Comic-Con. First, I was kind of bummed about hearing it, but then thinking about it, it makes so much sense. WB spends so much money bringing not just DC, but all their Warner Brothers films to Hall H, and honestly, they're trying to sell a movie to people that don't need to be sold on it. That's all that was. It was to get people hyped. Every single person in that room in Hall H, myself included, sees every single movie that's shown at Hall H. So, but the bigger thing is, in the bigger picture I was looking at, is like, it avoids a PR nightmare that they've been dealing with in the past. You know, how many times have we seen, and I've been to the past, I think 4 Hall H's, and we've seen people brought out like Rick Fuyama for the Flash movie that never materialized. Ben Affleck's coming out saying, hey, I'm going to be in this movie. I'm Batman. I love it. I want to be an ape for Matt Reeves, whatever he does. So, and he only did that to save face. Now looking back, he was already out at this point. So they don't have to do any of that. Now they'll still have a huge presence on the floor. They're talking about that the Warner Brothers and the DC booths are going to be combined into one massive area. So, you know, I think it's a win situation for them. You know, it's kind of bummed because it's cool stuff, but also everything that Warner Brothers always shows ends up online, officially released. So don't be bummed about it.
Hi, DC Movie News. This is Paul Pache here. I'm a little concerned about this whole Warner Brothers not showing up at Comic-Con this year because we know that they have the Batman coming out. That's what it's going to be called. And although Wonder Woman will already be out by that time, there's still the Joker, which is coming out in October, so they could show footage for that. And also they have a chance to bring out Robert Pattinson and maybe whoever's going to play the villain or something like that. So I'm a little weirded out why Warner Brothers decided not to go to Comic-Con, especially because even with movies that weren't necessarily the biggest commercial successes, the buzz created at Comic-Con was always so high. So I'm a little worried about it. It makes me wonder how much work they're putting into the Batman. How far away is it going to be? But, yeah, those are my thoughts.
Sorry to bother you. I know you're in Nantucket, but we have to hear from the crown jewel of DC Movie News, Roxy Stryer. What say you?
Hey guys, coming to you from a bachelorette party in Nantucket, but couldn't miss talking about all of the DC stuff that is happening this week. Tons of news going on. Just like you probably are, I'm pretty bummed to find out that Warner Brothers will not be at San Diego Comic-Con this year, as I certainly will be there, and one of the main reasons I go every year is because I want that DC news, I want those panels, and I want to be in Hall H when we're here and it's all happening. So I'm kind of bummed, but you know, if that's what is best and that's what we have to do, then that's what we have to do. I did love that Wonder Woman poster. Holy crap, just the rainbow neon, all of that vibes was so cool. Also really cool that it's Pride Month right now, and that's when it dropped. It gave me all those rainbow feels. So I was happy about that, and you know, Wonder Woman's all about love, which I thought was pretty great.
There is a picture of Diana in this crazy looking golden armor with trippy psychedelic colors. and the mind boggles at what we're going to see. Is this an armor she needs to put on to combat Cheetah? I would imagine if Cheetah is going to be a worthy opponent, them claws probably could cut Diana Prince. And is this perhaps an armor that she somehow has to get from Themyscira? Does she somehow figure out a way to go back to Themyscira? Because it seems like a modern version of a Themysciran armor, but we also know that she was told that she can never go back. But we don't know that she never went back, do we? So it poses a lot of questions. Patty Jenkins commented on the fact, again, that WB is not going to be at Hall H, and she honestly seemed kind of bummed about it. So she said she would see us all in December when the campaign for Wonder Woman kicks off in earnest. And I think that's really what it is. Like, they just figured, look, we're going to launch this campaign in December. Wonder Woman's going to make its money. We're not blowing this Hall H money no more.
Of course, I've talked very vocally about how much I'm into Pattinson, and I'm really excited to see him. And that's what I'm focusing on right now, because focus equals feeling, so I'm going to be happy about those things. And I can't wait to see you guys next week for DC Movie News. Much love.
Last week, Roxy, Dorina, and Jay commented on the official announcement that it was full-on Pattinson. Since that announcement, we've heard some of the stories as to why he was selected. The fact that he hasn't been in a Marvel movie makes him more appealing. We've all absorbed the social medias for about a week. And even Matt Reeves, the director, chimed in with a bunch of bat emojis and a little video clip from Good Times. So I gotta tell you, I think I'm going to call BS on the backlash. I don't think there's that much batlash about Pattinson. I think most people are down for it. I'm looking around, and it's a very, very vocal minority that are anti this guy. I feel like the support for Robert Pattinson is pretty much huge across the board. And anybody that writes comics, makes movies, or has an opinion that actually matters because they make this stuff is so on board with this dude. Even Zack Snyder liked a tweet that somebody else put out about Robert Pattinson. So I just wanted to put my 2 cents in there and just feel like I'm very excited for what could be a great detective. Oh yeah, Matt Reeves also talked about the fact that this is going to be a Batman who's finding his footing as a detective. That to me feels like there's potential for humor, but something that's still grounded. We're hearing potentially a Robin character. Maybe this is a guy that there is a version of the Bat family in this world that is sort of more naturalistic than maybe we've seen it before. There is a Robin character in some way. Maybe he's not 12 years old. Maybe he's 17 or 18. Maybe there's a Barbara involved. We're hearing now that we're seeing the beginning of a Bat trilogy, which, I can't wait to hear what Mr. Kalinowski has to say on this very subject, but I know he was always saying, like, just make one movie. Well, they're not looking to make one movie. They want Batman movies to bring in billions of dollars like they're supposed to. And so far, I think we're on the right track. Too bad we're not going to hear about it at Comic-Con. From the rumors, from the movies in development, we keep hearing that DC is not going to be afraid to have multiple continuities going on in the future. And one of the thoughts is that just like DC Comics, there's lots of alternate reality, Elseworlds kind of stories. That's what we're doing with the Joker movie. We keep hearing this Joker has nothing to do with Robert Pattinson, Batman, or future Justice League. So in that vein, there are rumors that they have begun development for the famed Mark Waid, Alex Ross story, Kingdom Come. This is the story that everybody knows, the painted images of Shazam, the older Superman, the dystopian future.
Will there be a Kingdom Come movie? I will believe it when I see it. They already, I'm surprised there hasn't been an animated one, to be honest, yet. But I love Kingdom Come. It's my favorite comic book storyline. I read it every year over again. It's my favorite thing in the world. Alex Ross's art is beautiful. Everything about it is wonderful. I just don't know, with the direction that DC's trying to take at things, how much they want to go into an Elseworlds darker storyline. I mean, eventually, it's more hopeful, and there's a lot of hope in the story, but I just feel like they're afraid to even go anything near what the tone of like a Man of Steel, which I love. I'm afraid they're really afraid to go near any kind of tone like that. So I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. I would love to see it. I just don't buy it happening.
This would be a crazy movie to do because unlike a Joker movie, which you could do for a very little budget, this would have to be a huge budget movie to pull in an alternate world. I mean, you would have to recast an older Batman. You can get your John Hamm or whoever you want. You can get an older Superman. You could bring Schwarzenegger out of retirement and have him be future Mr. Freeze. I don't know. It's a crazy rumor. This is one that I gotta say I doubt is really happening. It just seems too big. There are too many major characters. I'm gonna call BS on this one for now. I don't think it's happening.
Wait, Adam!
Whoa, it's me from the future.
Adam!
What did you hear?
Don't finish the news yet. Wait, am I too soon? Or am I too late? I still never understood what that meant in Batman v Superman. What do you mean, am I too soon? I thought he was warning him early. Anyway, nice Jazz Fest t-shirt. Little bit of bad news, buddy. I know you're having a good time reading the news and all that stuff, but I just found out in the future Swamp Thing's been canceled. That's why the production was shut down. Apparently, it looks like it has something to do with a North Carolinian tax break that the WB was supposed to receive, but due to some clerical errors, they ended up paying a lot more for the show than they planned on it, and it's too expensive to continue. Has nothing to do with the quality of the show. That's the rumors I'm hearing. But you're in the past, so whatever I know is more than you. Perhaps another version of us will know more in the future and come back and tell me, and then I'll tell you. Have a good show.
That happened like literally the day after I taped this?
So Swamp Thing, man, I had seen this. I was in rehearsal today, and it popped up on my phone. But there's no surprise. It's a tax credit thing. It is a money thing. That's all it is. It had nothing to do. And it made sense now looking back when they went from 13 to 10 episodes. They had, I guess, were giving a 50% tax credit, and then it went down to like 17.6. So imagine your season, you think it's going to cost $40 million, and it ends up now without this tax credit, it's going to cost you $60 million. No production is going to keep going on with a second season with that. It sucks, but it is a money thing. That's why people talk about Atlanta and why it's so great. They have a great tax incentive. Florida, where I'm from, was going to be Hollywood East. Had great film incentive programs, tax incentives throughout the 90s. That dried up. The current political people in Florida don't want it. They don't think it brings money to the state. So there's no tax credit. That's why we all went to Atlanta. Atlanta's like, we'll take it all because they give a great tax break. Now the interesting thing is with Atlanta, what they're dealing with the whole political thing, all these shows like Netflix, Disney, they're thinking about pulling out of Georgia because of the laws that are being enacted there. You know, but again, it's a money thing. So who knows? But that's why Swamp Thing is canceled. It sucks. But it's a money issue.
Another reason that my heart kind of stopped and sunk this week was for my boy Adam. Sorry, Swamp Thing. Sorry, Adam. What a bummer. I'm loving Swamp Thing. And I guess taxes get the best of all of us.
Swamp Thing got canceled. No! Adam, I'm sorry. Pour one out for Adam. I'm sorry it got canceled. We were kind of nervous about this one because the teaser seemed different than the trailer, and we know they had some reshoots and some things. But after the first episode came out, it was so good. I was like, oh yeah, all right, they're on board, it's cool. And then immediately it was canceled. Now the reason that this is worrisome is because part of the reason it seems that it was canceled is because the DC streaming site or program or whatever subscription thing, I have it, I love it, it might be in jeopardy because Warner Brothers may be doing a new streaming service. I don't know what that means for Doom Patrol, and even though I got love for Swamp Thing, Doom Patrol, in my opinion, was the best TV show, or at least one of the best TV shows of the year, the best new show of the year, in my opinion. I hope it comes back.
Swamp Thing being canceled is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. With all the good hype that Doom Patrol got, you know, Swamp Thing, the pilot apparently is amazing. So why is this being canceled? Is it already being touted as too expensive? How did they not know how expensive the show was going to be? I don't quite understand what the thought process is here. For me, you know, I know Adam especially is going to be very upset that this show's canceled, and so am I, because I think, you know, more original DC content is what we want, and the fact that they're so willing to just write off an entire show that they just made so early it's frustrating, to say the least.
Is this next story a DC movie story or not? I don't really know. Some of you may have heard the rumors that Quentin Tarantino is working with comedian Jerrod Carmichael to develop a Django Zorro crossover. Now, why is this DC? Because there was a comic that Quentin actually wrote, and it was released by DC, or it was actually a collaboration between Dynamite, which releases Zorro comics, and DC. However, Django Unchained, which was a Miramax production, and they're not around anymore, but it was distributed by Sony. So I wonder if they do make the Django Zorro movie, does it become a Sony film, or is it possibly a Warner Brothers film because it's based on a Warner Brothers comic book? I don't know. Something to ponder, but it is very exciting. In fact, I actually saw Quentin Tarantino live at Comic-Con several years ago talking about this comic. And it was just because that he was having a talk about this comic that I was able to wander into that room 20 or whatever that other big room is and see QT on stage talking about, that's when he started talking about like, oh, he might only have like 10 movies in his whole career and all this. But it is very interesting to see, even if Quentin Tarantino wraps up with 10 films, he could be doing these collaborations and writing and producing. A lot of other things could be coming from Quentin Tarantino in the future. But this is a pretty exciting one. I would like to see this film. All right, guys. So hopefully some other subjects came up that other people were chiming in on that I didn't really introduce because I didn't know about them at that time, unless future me told me. God, I'm so confused. How does time travel work? I don't know. Sorry, no TV time this week. We'll be back with a regular show on Friday next week. Follow us at DC Movie News Live on Twitter, DC Movie News Live on Instagram as well. Follow us at Popcorn Talk Network. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time on DC Movie News.